Welcome back to Trails from Zero. Dog. Anyway, welcome back to Trails from Zero. I'm the TheDarkSeraph. Apparently there's a gang warfare going on in the Harbor District. So, I guess we go do that. Place is a mess. Certainly looks like the aftermath of a raid. Definitely, there are traces of heavy weaponry scattered all over. At least they didn't resort to explosives. I see you guys are on the scene too. Hey Franz, how's the situation? We rushed out here as soon as we heard the news. I don't know much. All I've heard is that shots were fired in the middle of the night. Dudley and the others are in the middle of conducting an investigation. Sounds like the 1st Division beat us to the punch. Whatever. They were always quick to jump on cases like this. We'd like to ask the members of Hayaway some questions. Do you mind letting us in? Suppose I could. I was only told not to let civilians pass. You'll have to make up an excuse to Dudley for me, though. Sure thing. Damn. Sal, if you'll excuse me then. We'd like to help you, but unless you're willing to give us more details, there's not much we can do. You'll have to forgive me. After all, it was late in the night. I haven't the faintest idea who the assailants could be, or why they targeted our humble company. Even so, it appears you are able to mount an efficient defense. The 1st and 2nd floors are devastated, yet this room remains spotless. How in the world were you able to fend off assailants armed with heavy machine guns? I admit it was tricky. However, the assailants managed to escape our grasp, I'm afraid. Many of our men were sent to St. Ursula. My oh my, what a disaster. You have my condolences. Now, if you'll excuse us? You four? What's the Special Support Section doing here? Why, good morning, Detective Bannings. I see the rest of you came along as well. Pardon our interruption, Sal. I know you're busy with the aftermath of the raid, but could I borrow a minute of your time? Anything for you, my friend. If you'll excuse us then, Dudley, I'd appreciate you stopping by. Well, have a nice day. Goodbye. This irritates me to no end, but I'm leaving this snake to you. Try to get what you can out of him. Yes, sir. Dudley's just like, fine, talk to the rookie then. Actually, if Sal doesn't think much of Lloyd, then he might spill some details that he wouldn't give to a seasoned... I see what he's doing. Spend some time, my friends. I hear you had quite the adventure on the final day of the anniversary festival. I'm assuming Yin told you all about that. As you know, the Special Support Section doesn't follow conventional investigation protocol. And with that in mind, how about you go ahead and tell us your true intentions? Oh. Lloyd. There's no point in wasting our time with the usual song and dance. Not only that, But we have a lot of ground to cover with Sal. I figured I'd get straight to the point. Well now, that's one hell of a gutsy move. Lloyd can be quite audacious when he wants to be. Excellent, Mr. Banny. Simply superb. I knew I was right to put my hopes in you. Very well. I'm not particularly fond of trivial exchanges anyway. If your questions are within the realm of my knowledge, I will provide the answers you seek. Thank you. There were 3 things I wanted to ask you. Who are the assailants? Safe to assume Revanche is behind this? Or is there a chance that the attack was carried out by a third party? So you're going to ask about that. Very well. Lau, please explain to them. Sir. The assailants have been masked to conceal their identities, but there's no doubt that it was Revanche. Not only were their weapons identical, but so was their combat style. There's something that can't be mimicked so easily. I see, that makes sense. In that case, something's still rubbing me the wrong way. I hear you Heiyue guys are all pretty damn good martial artists. Hell, I bet my man Lau here could have beatings left and right. You flatter me. I'm sure Revanche doesn't have a shortage of combat pros either, but none of them can match up with you guys one-on-one. So then, how'd you get trashed so hard by a handful of thugs? Was the Killing Bear leading the charge? No, I don't believe the esteemed general manager of sales was present. Neither was his handpicked ex-Jaeger friends. We believe Revanche's regular combat personnel to be behind the attack. If that's the case, then how? Though their techniques were simple, their speed and power were beyond comprehension. They were able to brandish those heavy machine guns single-handedly. Our defenses were easily crushed by their unnatural strength. They overtook the first 2 floors with ease. No fooling. It wasn't only limited to their power and speed either. They had inhuman endurance as well. And thanks to that, I had to put into practice a few dangerous techniques. Dangerous? Like what? I wasn't aware you were trained in combat yourself, Sal. I am nothing but an amateur compared to Yin. I'm not going to beat around the bush here. How do you plan to respond to their raid? So that's what you want to know. If you know that the manner of the organization Heiyue is, then there shouldn't be any need to ask us questions. So you're planning to retaliate. My, how presumptuous. To think we could ever do such a thing. You misunderstand. I'm only speaking in terms of a crisis management. At the end of the day, what matters most to our company is profit. Take a drink there. And in any situation where our profits are threatened, it is my sworn duty to crush our antagonizers through appropriate methods. I fail to see what's so strange about that. What an annoyingly shrewd man. Is requesting assistance from Heiyue's main office one of the appropriate methods? You really aren't beating around the bush, are you? Well, to answer your question, I have no such plans at the moment. After all, my reputation is on the line here. However, there is no guarantee the main office will respect my wishes. They may intervene regardless. I suppose I should be able to keep them out of things for a little while at the very least. Either way, we are sorely lacking in information about Revanche's current improvements. As such, we don't have effective countermeasures. For now, I've assigned someone to keep a close eye on their movement. That someone being an extremely reliable collaborator of ours. Yin. I guess he would be the best option for an undercover mission. What do you know about Kia? This isn't directly related to the case in question, but I figured I'll ask while I'm here. Do you really not know anything about Kia? Lloyd, that's Kia, you said. Is that meant to be a person's name? It sounds more like a code word to me. Pardon me. I see this as a serious matter. All I know is that Kia is the name of that little girl you took into custody after the auction. Well, that, and the fact that our dear collaborator offered you a small piece of advice while you were there. The exhibits for the second half of the auction are stored in that room there. According to information that was sent to Hayue, there's a bomb, so to speak, among those items. I recommend you confirm it for yourselves. A large leather trunk will be exhibited at the end of the auction. Inside the trunk is a bomb which will only serve to jeopardize Revanche's position. This information was sent to us through a complicated route. We were unable to determine the identity of the informant, however. In some ways, that only made it more credible. Do you have an inkling as to who that informant might have been? Logically speaking, information this sensitive and incriminating would point to the actions of a Revanche defector. The only thing I can say for certain is that whoever is behind it, they are an incredibly skilled individual. At any rate, this is as far as our knowledge regarding Kia goes. Do you mind if I give the department an outline of what we asked and we discussed? Do as you like, my friend. By the way, Detective Mannings, I'll be honest with you. This raid was far beyond what I thought Revanche was capable of. I was under the impression that I was fully cognizant of their forces, connections, and strategies. Further, given the scrutiny behind they currently find themselves under, I never expected them to pull off such a brazen move. They truly surpassed all expectations. I'm almost a little impressed. I must say, I'm unbelievably excited for what's to come. He's a bold one. Do not think for 1 second that I will allow the police to ruin my fun. Although I'm willing to grant a unique opportunity to your department. If you can somehow resolve the situation before Hayue begins his retaliation, then we'll have no need to do so. You son of a bitch. Things have really gotten serious. Yes, they gave us plenty of useful information to work with. I can't believe Sao would so blatantly imply a full-scale war. I can believe it. If things are heating up like this, then we're gonna have to have a real mess on our hands. We're screwed if they decide to have a firefight in the middle of town. Additionally, we have to consider the possibility that Hayue may call for reinforcements. There are more than a few dark clouds already gathering on the horizon. Even so, it sounds like we still have a bit of time, judging by what he said. There are a lot of suspicious details about this raid Revanche pulled, so we'll need to find out as much as we can before Hayue mobilizes. Shall we visit each of the districts and question the citizens? No. I think it would be best to go straight to the source. Let's pay Revanche a visit. You're kidding. We may have gone there before, but still. That was before the incident at the auction. Wouldn't it be too reckless? It's true. They may have struck a deal with us, but it only relates to Kia. However, there's something I'm concerned about. What might that be? Garcia. We've had enough encounters with him to know what kind of person he is. He never seemed to be the type to be reckless, and I got the feeling he had a strong command over his subordinates. You're absolutely right. He's a well-known Jaeger commander, way too disciplined to pull off any crazy stunts. In fact, it's pretty hard to imagine him ordering his men to launch an assault like this in the first place. Did Garcia actually order the raid, or did his subordinates act on their own? That's definitely something we need to find out. Right. And the fastest way to do that is by asking them. Want to head there now? That's the best option. Well, I want to check my orbit really quick. have a better wind gem I can put there? Evasion. Oh, I didn't realize she had access to dark matter. Cool. When you ever luck, just why not? Anything in the red I can give him here? No. Well, I could give him Invigorate. He still has some... He's got some good attack output. Two, 5, 8, yeah. He's got some good art selection. I don't know how I managed that. Of course, so does Teotot here. To the back alley, then. That was the wrong way. Let's see that treasure chest. Wonder how I'm going to get to that. Probably knock that out. Just like I thought, there are more guards than usual. They're looking way more pissed than I was expecting, too. Impatient, excited, vigilant, anxious. I'm detecting a wide range of emotions from all of them. There's no mistaking it. They must be on high alert from any retaliation. This isn't going to be easy. For now, ascertaining Garcia's movements should be... Should be what? Oh, speak of the devil. Garcia Razi. Damn, how that monster managed to sneak up on us. You guys. You have the audacity to show your faces around here after all the shit you've put me through? I won't make any excuses. Our deal with you concerns Kia and Kia alone. Then we're understood. If you use our deal as an excuse to come waltzing through our territory, I'm going to beat the ever-loving hell out of you. This guy's a dangerous old man. I know why your lot are snooping around. However, you won't be getting a single word out of me on that matter. If you understand, then get lost. Damn. Tell me one thing. If, hypothetically, you were to attack an armed enemy stronghold, would you attack head-on from the front, leaving everything to brute strength? An honest Jaeger like myself would never stoop to such a poor strategy. I'd wait until there was an opening to make a precise strike. Maximum results, minimum damage. Wouldn't you say the same thing, son of the war god? Don't call me that again. But yeah, that's how Jaegers operate. Skilled ones, anyway. Is that so? Thank you. I appreciate your answer. You're a strange guy. But anyway, you better not come in here unprepared. You hear me? I promise you'll be torn to shreds. He looked tense. but unusually haggard. He's pissed off. I was thinking the same thing. His words were very aggressive, but I felt like they didn't have the force behind them. I could sense a great deal of fatigue. What do you suppose could have happened to him? He's in such a sorry state and ain't like the guy at all. I bet you guys would love to know why that is. Grace! You just love popping up at the most random times, don't you? What can I say? My reporter's intuition guides me to the juiciest of scoops. Anyway, what do you say we do with the old give and take? I'll be anxiously awaiting your arrival at the jazz bar. This woman, I swear to God. What should we do, Lloyd? For now, let's hear what she has to say. But before, we should keep our guard up. We'll need to be careful not to let anything slip around her. Noted. That woman, I swear to God. Grace, you're not very smart, but you got balls as big as boulders, and I respect that. I say she's not very smart because this is the woman that went right up into the Mafia's face, snapping pictures, talking shit to them. After they were just exposed for a crime. Like, this woman is not very smart, but god damn, she's got balls. She's pretty bold. I'll give her that. I respect that. Stupid old mess up trying to feel me up. Think she had a long day of work. Or a long week, I should say. It's the middle of the day. I've had a long week. Oh, well, now there you are. Alright, let me get to the chase. Is there anything you're willing to share about the Hayue raid? I'm sure Sal showered you with all sorts of delightful details over at his office. Quick as ever, how do you even know we visited Hayue? Well, I found out about the incident this morning and I was heading over to the grill. Ask Sal some questions when I saw Dudley barge in. As I was sitting there on the sidelines trying to feel out the situation, who showed up but you guys? Shortly thereafter, I see Dudley leaving with his typical scowl, and a bit later, you all come out looking as worried as ever. After seeing all that, how do you expect me to not think you learned something huge? That makes sense. Still, Grace, I think you know better than anyone that we can't casually disclose information about an open investigation. Well, of course I know that's silly. That's why this little chat is a give and take. After all, aren't you dying for some details on Garcia Rossi? You mean, you're a real pro at dangling the bait right under our noses, aren't you? As nice and cheery as a nice little cherry on top, I might have some juicy info about that so-called auction, too. Way I hear it, Revanche messed up so bad there, the speaker isn't really interested in speaking with them anymore. I'm sure you're just dying to know about how these two things are related, right? Right. Okay, I'll bite. However, everything about Sao is off the record. Got it? I cannot stress that enough, Grace. I see. So the situation is more dire than I thought. Unfortunately, it is. At the very least, both groups seem to be trying not to involve the public for now. Well, no matter which way you cut it, this raid really just came out of nowhere. It might have happened in the dead of night, but I still can't believe they target somewhere right next to the news building. Not to mention, it was right down the street from the IBC. That's a pretty ballsy move, even for Revanche. That's true. If things had gotten even worse, it could have made people lose their trust in Crossbell as Zumeria's trade capital, shaking the whole continent's economy. Right. That's what I'm saying. If this is true, it could mean that if that info I got was legit after all. What information would that be? You willing to share? Guess it's my turn now. You see, the whole fiasco originated from inside the Mafia. Lately, I've been hearing rumors that Garcia Rossi's control over his goons has been, well, lacking. Is that even possible? Yeah, I'm having a hard time buying it myself. I can't imagine any of those rank-and-file mobsters defying that walking mountain. Well, you can choose to believe it or not. I'm just saying it might be possible that the incident in the downtown district and the garb the Maine's miners and the grab for the Maine's mining rights weren't on Garcia's orders. From the look of it, it was some goons on the lower rungs looking to make a name for themselves. If that's what those rookies were after, that should explain why they're so willing to step out of line to get it. But from what I gathered, Marconi wanted this. Wait a second. Are you saying that the raid last night was carried out by low-level mobsters? Given the scale of the attack, it's hard to think that. But if it's true, it would definitely help explain why Garcia was acting the way he was. Come to think of it, he didn't have his usual entourage with him. So does that mean he's lost his grip over Revanche? There's an internal split. But what is the Don doing during all of this? Profiting. According to what I've been able to gather, Marconi is desperately trying to make up for his giant blunder at the auction. Naturally, he's buttering up Speaker Hartman, who is less than pleased over in Michelin. He's even trying to lure more influential figures of Crossbell into his fold. Who exactly? Diet members from the Republican faction. I've heard he's met with the CGF commanders. Who? Really? Is he trying to suppress Hayue's political influence? And I wonder if meeting with the CGF commander has anything to do with Revanche's weapons smuggling. Wouldn't be surprised. Gotta remember, that moron of a commander is also one of Speaker Hartman's cronies. I bet Revanche's trying to win back the Speaker's favor through him. My thoughts exactly. Man, whenever I have these nice little chats with you guys, things just seem to fall into place. This turned out to be quite a fruitful little info swap. To be honest, it's been helpful to us as well. But for now, that we've been shifted through all the details, I feel like there's something we're missing. Oh, and what would that be? Looking into what we know, there seem to be logical reasons behind each of their actions. But these actions themselves are almost random. As though they're not coming from the same organization. I always got the feeling that Revanche's operations had a certain level of professionalism to them. The kind you'd expect from organized crime. But I don't sense that this time around. I see what you mean. Now that you mention it, I'm inclined to agree. Revanche's structure has typically existed as an efficient system designed to take advantage of the large amount of money flowing through Crossbell. For them to suddenly deviate so greatly from that system is highly irregular. So in other words, there's some element to this case that Revanche's entire system out of stock. Is that what you're saying? Right, that's just a gut feeling though. Sal's description made it sound like these raiders who attacked Hayue possessed unnatural amounts of strength too. It's possible that could have something to do with Garcia's attitude. I should have expected this from you, Lloyd. You're one smart cookie, you know that? Hey, if this police thing doesn't work out for you, how about joining me at the Crossbell Times? We can aim for the Fluid prize. I'll pass, thanks. And I'd appreciate it if you didn't make me worry about my employment any more than I already do. Remind me, and what's this Fluid prize she's always talking about? It's a prestigious international award given to the most outstanding journalist of the year. Oh, excuse me. Lloyd Banning to the SSS. I figured. I managed to get through. It's me, Bixen, over from Maine's. Oh, Mayor, how can I help you? Is there something wrong with Gantz? Well, you see, I'm in Crossbell City at the moment, the casino where Gantz goes. He started acting strangely, so I decided to call you. Strange? What do you mean? He's been engaged in a poker match with another customer for some time. Things are getting heated. It may only be a matter of time before violence breaks out. Ooh, okay, that's Barca Casino. We're actually close by. Gantz might be getting into some trouble there. Seriously? Have his victories gained him some ill will from his opponents? Probably. Between Gantz's ego and his crazy luck, I could definitely see that happening. Well, we'd better hurry over to assess the situation. Alright, off to Barca we go. What? Did I say something wrong? Grace, it's just that there's no point in telling her not to come. Let's just go to the casino. Yeah, there's no... She's gonna go regardless of what I say. Well, you shush, bird. Do you like your little house? I bought you a little house. Do you like it? You're up there chirping away, right next to it. Do you like your little house that's inside your house? I bought my birds a house and I put it inside their house. And now they have a house inside of their house, which is inside of a house. That's the hotel. I am the dumb. That's the casino. Oh, you came. Praise be to Dios. Hey, Dios mío. Like a fight's gonna break out. Where's Gantz? Ah, yes. He's in the middle of a private match in the back room. We don't have time to waste. Lecter! Eat this, punk. 9, 10, jack, queen, and a king. A straight flush of diamonds, baby. Yeah, that's some pretty damn good luck. Try to beat this hand. You can't. He can with a royal. Also noticing the king actually kind of resembles Lecter and the queen kind of resembles Claire. Are you kidding me? Wasn't expecting you to pull out a hand that strong on our last round. Hey, this is my true talent. You tried one too many games using those tricky hands of yours, but that's about to come to an end. Show me your hand already. What are you talking about? Never said anything about losing. Are you kidding me? The only way you could beat me is with a royal. There's no way you could have... That's where you're wrong, pal. 5 of a kind. 4 aces and a jack and a joker. A 5 of a kind with aces, no less? I can't believe what I'm seeing today. It depends on the game whether a royal flush or a 5 of a kind is the highest possible hand. If you're playing with jokers, a 5 of a kind is the highest possible hand. But either way, let's clear this hand of mine, takes that straight flush of yours and flushes it straight down the drain. You... Don't you screw with me, you damn cheat! Drake, you're his accomplice, aren't you? Well, screw you too! I assure you, I am nothing of the sort. I swear on Adios' name. And during my careful observation of the match, I saw nothing that suggested Mr. Arundel was cheating. Can it? How the hell am I supposed to buy that crap? I got luck and intuition on my side. I'm supposed to be unstoppable. There's no way I can lose to this jackass. Calm down. He's right, you gotta relax, man. Poker's just a game of luck after all. All that means, pal, is your luck has run out. I refuse to believe this crap. Gambling should be a piece of cake after using that stuff. Gantz? Oh no. There's no way in hell I could lose. Let go of me! Let go of me, damn it! You have to calm down. What's up with his insane strength? Gantz, stop this madness. Well, it isn't my favorite pals. How's it hanging? I don't really think this is the time, Lecter. How can one man be so suspicious? I'm almost impressed. And this guy's quite the character. An acquaintance of yours? Sort of. Not like we know jack squat about him, though. Well, hold on a minute. A 5 of a kind versus a straight flush? How the hell... What the hell even happened here? It was a real nail-biter, Randy. I was on the verge of losing my shirt, the shirt off of my back. I can barely keep up with any of this. At least we were able to neutralize the threat before anyone was hurt. Let go of me, damn it! I can't lose! Well, you did. After furthering protest and shouting, Gantz became overwhelmingly exhausted and passed out. Due to his condition, the SSS decided to carry him to his hotel room. Goodness, how could such a thing have happened? He may not have been the hardest worker, but he was always a kind man. There's not a soul in Mainz who disliked him. Mayor Bixson, I don't know what I can say. Very nice guy, he sure was pretty violent for a second there. Hell, I wasn't expecting it to take both me and Lloyd to hold him down. Yeah, I couldn't believe how strong he is. Listen, guys, this is just an old reporter's intuition talking here, but, you know, you'd think the guy could have been on some kind of drug, you know, the serious kind. Pardon me? Drugs? You serious? Judging by their silence, I think Lloyd and Tio seem to agree. Agree is a strong word. I don't want to say anything without proof, but it's not outside the realm of possibility. Preposterous. Gantz? On drugs? I refuse to believe it. He's just an ordinary down-to-earth miner. There's no way he'd ever use such... I'm sorry, sir, but hasn't it been almost half a month since he arrived here in Crossbell? Keep in mind that he earned quite a bit of money during his stay. Can you say for certain that he wouldn't have taken advantage of that wealth? I won't stand for this slander. You mentioned that you're a Crossbell Times journalist, right? You know that if you write some libel piece based on pure speculation, I will lead Mainz and the people in its protest. Cool your heels. I wasn't planning on writing an article on this anyway. Could you do us a favor, Mayor? I'd like to go through Gantz's personal belongings, if that's alright. You too? I don't intend to imply anything, sir, but there are too many coincidences piling up. His sudden violence, that inhuman strength, that complete change in personality. All of these aspects are eerily similar to past cases. And in the Gantz case, we also saw an absurd development in his gambling skills. Might be because he took some stimulants to boost his perception or something. That explained that freakish intuition of his, and his perception has cranked up to inhuman levels. He'd have no trouble reading people. It is entirely possible. I can only speculate that if I were to gamble, I would have an unfair advantage over others as well. Tio. Sorry, Tio Tot, you know I didn't mean it like that. I'm aware, do not worry. Mayor Bixson, I understand you wish to keep Mr. Gantz's reputation intact. However, please, envision the scenario where he is, in fact, consuming drugs. In the situation were to remain unhandled, it could pose a threat to himself and others. That may be, but I think a bunch of possible side effects might crop up. Same here, and that's exactly what I'm afraid of. Very well. I fear I may not have thought things through well enough. Go ahead. Thank you, sir. This is what I was afraid of. He's on something, alright. Pills. No. So he really had something. He really had some after all. A pretty shade of blue. But what the hell is it? We can't rule out the possibility that it's harmless medicine yet. Maybe he had some kind of chronic disease we don't know about. He ever mention anything like that? Not that I'm aware of. Would you mind if we hung on to these pills for now? Please. But listen, I beg you, do not spread this around Gantz. Of course, sir. We'll make sure to take his reputation into consideration. Also, could we leave him with you? I'll take care of him. I'll try to speak with him once he wakes up. Some kind of stimulant. So now we have suspicions of illegal drug circulations through Crossbell. Definitely didn't see that one coming. You should have. Really? I would have thought the mafia wasn't big into drug trade. The contrary, actually. Illegal drugs hardly ever show up here in Crossbell. Drugs are a messy business, you know. One misstep, they'll spread to neighboring countries like the plague. I've heard the 1st Division monitors them closely, thanks to the presence from Erebonia and Calvard. So I guess Ravancha is smart enough to read the room on that one. Yeah, they made sure to cover that back at the police academy. Still, something about these pills. I've never seen pills like this before. The color is pretty, but... yeah, they're pretty sure, but they're suspicious as hell. Tio, do you recognize them? No, I am sorry. I think it was just my imagination. But more importantly, what do you plan to do with the pills, Lloyd? Good question. I'm thinking this case is too much for us to handle. For now, let's talk with the chief. It's only been 4 months since we first met, but you guys have grown a lot since then. Really brings a tear to my eye. Speaking of Guy, I've never got a straight answer out of you. Did you know my brother? Oh yeah, back when I was still a newbie at the CNS. He helped me out more times than I can count. Sometimes, I think that even though he's not with us anymore and his case has gone cold, at least there was still a team built at the CPD to carry on his will. Oopsie, Sarah Gay might get angry with me if I say too much. Anyway, I've got an event to cover, so I'm gonna head out. Oh, and I won't write any articles about the drug stuff, as tempting as it is. Bye-bye! She is certainly something. Why did she get off dangling information like that in front of us and walking away? Yeah. Another addition to the pile of things we have to think about. So it seems. Oh, there's the stairs. Okay. What? I have 5 and 7. I never got 6. Can I go get 8 out of curiosity? No, that's the latest one. I will try that cooking quest, but I can't guarantee it's gonna happen. Especially since I don't even think I have 10 recipes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I only have 8. You guys are back pretty late. Interrogating Hayaway really take that long? No, actually, we may have stumbled into another case. We'll give you details along with what we found during the Hayaway raid. Chief? Sorry, was it too convoluted? No. It's just that this series of events, I'm starting to think that it might be all connected. Really? What makes you think that? You know, a lot has come down in the last day or two. But I want you to try to connect the dots. Especially you, Lloyd. We're really going to need those detective skills. Sure. Today we were able to discover roughly 3 pieces of key evidence. The information we heard from Sal about the raid, the intel exchanged with Grace about the current state of Revanche, and everything about Gantz from Mainz. So there was something that ties the 3 things together. I think I'm starting to get a picture here. The physical abilities. The haphazard chain of control. And these blue pills. The boosted strength displayed by the mafiosos who raided Hayue, Gantz and his subordinate and his spontaneous gambling skill. They may seem independent from each other, but they both deal with a sudden enhancement of abilities. Now, suppose we say that the connecting factors are all these little blue pills. The Mafia must have started involving themselves in the illegal drug trade in some way. Not just to sell them to the public either. Revanche's henchmen must be using these drugs themselves. Is that the general idea? Yeah, more or less, but in the end, it's just another theory. However, that would explain a lot. In that case, maybe the reason Garcia's authority over Revanche has started to wane is all thanks to his grunts taking this drug. Once they've all juiced up, they don't need to listen to him anymore, or can't listen to him. Gantz just you couldn't be reasoned with. The trader and stockbroker. Could those two be under the pill's influence as well? Who can say, but at this point there's nothing more than pure speculation. However, things are beginning to come together piece by piece. You feel the same way, don't you? Yeah. I'm being honest, I don't think the special support section will be able to handle a case of this size. We might even need to call in the 1st Division for support, given that the incidents revolve around the distribution of illegal drugs. Funny you should say that, Lloyd. Your timing couldn't be better. I found you. What's wrong, Kia? Are you hungry? Nope, not yet. We have a visitor. He's a super grumpy old man. His forehead's all wrinkly. Grumpy? Pardon me? Oh, Dudley. You're late. Sorry, Sergey. Investigations meeting ran a bit longer. If this about the same thing we discussed. If this is about the same... Yeah, that's a fucking typo. If this is about the same thing we discussed earlier, do you mind if we go ahead and begin? Sounds good to me. Before we get started, I need you to fill them into. I don't have time for your jokes, Sergey. This isn't something rookies should know about, and actually, I think the information they found will end up being pretty useful to you and your investigation. In fact, involving them will save you from time in the long run. Are you out of your mind? Then again, I did leave the Hayue investigation to them. Maybe I can fill them in. No, it's not. Chief, if this is a bad time, we can step out. It won't be necessary. They don't call Dudley the ace of the first for nothing. I'm sure he realizes what he needs in a situation like this. Fine. The information I'm about to disclose is confidential. It does not leave this room. Otherwise, there will be consequences. Got it? Yeah, that won't be a problem. Ooh, is that a secret? I love secrets. Tell me too. Well, I'll make you a snack, Kia. Why don't you go and eat with Zeit? Ah, little squirt, I love her. The 1st Division is being pressured? It's not quite as simple as that, Bannings. After the raid on Hayue, we received orders to devote all our resources to quell any disputes between the mafias. Because of that, we had to end our investigation on a mysterious drug we've been looking into recently. Really? The 1st Division was investigating the blue pills. We only started looking into them a few days ago. Frankly, I'm surprised you even know about them. How exactly did the First Division find out about the drugs in the first place? We were tipped off by a longtime informant. She's been a pretty reliable source, so we started gathering up information. But we weren't able to find anything more than concrete rumors and urban legends. I mean, a miracle pill that can grant wishes and bestow happiness sounds like pure fiction to me. However, it was apparent that something shady was going on. So we were compiling a list of citizens that seemed to be connected, and... What are those looks? It's almost like you expected everything I just said. Seems like our little theories were spot on. Show 'em, Lloyd. Take a look at this, Detective. What? Are those what I think they are? We found them on a certain individual during our investigations. We were allowed to keep them on the condition that we protect their identity. Damn it all, so it is real. So you're saying that it's possible that Revanche is the distributor? Dudley, about the order to stop the drug investigation. Any idea who made the call? It had to have been someone high up. Our chief didn't agree with the decision, but he enforced it regardless. What a mess. Does that mean someone on the high CPD chain of command gave in to the Mafia's demands? Unbelievable. How low can you go? The situation appears quite grave. Dudley, it's clear that you came to me because you don't trust the top brass at headquarters. So what is it you're planning to do? To be honest, there's nothing those of us in the First can even do about the drug investigation for now. If any of us were to take action, our bosses would do whatever they could to interfere. But, as a member of the police, I can't just let it go. Detective Dudley. Well, if there's an easy solution for that, leave the investigation to the special support section. Lloyd, Ellie, Randy, and Tio, listen up, guys. From here on out, the SSS will be unofficially collaborating with the First Division. Since their hands are tied, you four will take over the drug investigation for them. Yes, sir. Understood. And in return, we'll get every last bit of intel the First Division has about Revanche. Fair? Sergey, what are you... Every bit of intel? You know there are some classified files that I can't even share. Every last scrap. Take it or leave it. We're stuck in a deadlock, you know it. We're going to keep doing what we want regardless, but you don't really have any options here. Damn it. Fine, I accept your conditions. Glad we had come to an agreement. Well. So now we're the ones taking the case away from the First Division. I can already feel a sense of superiority welling up inside me. I love this little munchkin. Yikes. Comments retracted. I suppose I really don't have any other options. Alright. I turned the drug investigation over to you. So how do you actually plan to proceed? About that, we already had the drug itself on our hands. The next logical step is to figure out what exactly it's made of. Not a bad start. How will you be going about that? Based on what we know, we can assume that this is effectively a new type of drug. It'll likely be too much for forensic tools at headquarters to handle. That, and there's the risk of being noticed by the higher-ups. What a shame. But in that case, we might be able to go to the medical college for help. I see, you're right. We do know someone we can talk to. The medical college. Is it Ursula? Right. We know a doctor who specializes in pharmaceutical research. I've heard he's the best man in his field, so there's a good chance we'll be able to figure out what the drug's composition is. Alright then. That might just be the best option given the circumstances. Dudley, can we get you to compile the First Division's intel and send a report to us by the end of the day? I want them to decide how to approach the investigation for themselves. Understood? I'll get it sent over as soon as I can. Well, then I should go. Thank you for your help, Sergey. Likewise. Oh, and aren't you going to thank them too? Listen well, you four. If you do anything stupid, this entire situation will nosedive. Understood? Your task is looking into these drugs, and only that. Dealing with the mafias is the First Division's responsibility. stay close to the ground, behave, and most importantly, don't get in our way. Jeez, is it really that hard to say thanks for doing my work for me? Perhaps under that tremendous scowl he is simply shy at heart. Okay, it's stroking out. Maybe so. Also, it seems he has a stronger sense of justice than I first thought. I think we can trust him. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to... I'm just going to go through this, and I need to end the episode anyway. I'm going to end this here. TheDarkSeraph signing off.